What's up, YouTube? It's Ask the Young One. Today, you guys get to stare at my garage behind me. So, sorry about that, but it is very nice out today. Finally, after winter in the Midwest, for me as a Floridian, it really sucks because 6-7 months of cold weather is not cool. But on the other hand, I wanted to do a video today. Someone asked in a group, and they were frustrated because the narcissist looks so happy with their new person. One thing about narcissists is when you're being devalued, they're already working on a new person. So it's going to be pretty rapid. It's going to be pretty immediate when the discard happens, whether you discard them or they discard you. They're going to be with someone rather quickly. That should be your first sign that there was no love involved in your relationship. That should be the absolute number one sign immediately after a discard, because someone that has love in their heart for you, or has ever had love in their heart for you, could not just jump immediately into another relationship. They would need to grieve and heal themselves before they just jumped into another relationship. So that should be number one, and the understanding of there was never no love in the relationship with you. And it's a very hurtful thing. That's why no contact is so very important, because it keeps us, or no contact allows us to implement our very first boundary after these relationships, to be able to start healing ourselves emotionally. And if we're seeing these things, then it affects the way that we're healing. If we're looking up their social media and we're seeing their flaunting images of being on the boats or horseback riding or going to the beach or out to dinner with all the, with their new love and the old family that you are a part of, and everybody seems to be doing wonderful, that is part of the illusion of narcissism. Everything that they do is about an illusion. They have to have an image to maintain, and with that image comes flaunting everything about their life. But to a person that understands love, as you probably gave your love the best you knew how to the person, then it's going to affect you, because you actually felt what it felt like to love a person, and you're seeing it put back in your face as to what it was like to not be loved by a person. So when it comes to, are they happy with another person? No, they're not any happier. They're like a washing machine. They're gonna rinse, they're gonna wash. Sorry about that, spring flowers. But they're like a washing machine. They're gonna wash, rinse, and cycle through. They're gonna wash, rinse, and spin, and that's gonna be their cycles of relationships. They're gonna idealize this new person exactly the same way that they did you. They're gonna go through the same to the next step. Then they're gonna devalue that person. They're gonna get bored with the person. They're gonna it's gonna be the same cycle, because there is no love involved. There's none. It's an image. It's lust. It's ego-based. There's no heart connection. It's strictly about chasing the next good thing that they can see as a good thing, because they have to keep themselves rolling like that. They have to keep creating the illusions. Everything about them is an illusion. It's all fake, and they have to keep continuously creating that. Even with new people, when they, especially when you got enmeshed families, of narcissists, and they can't live without each other, that's why, because they're idealizing each other constantly, and they're taking and taking and taking and taking from each other. So they'll always be feeding each other. So therefore, you'll never out in the open see the misery that is really involved with that. And so it's just very important to understand these things, that it's a fake. It's not love. They don't love this person anymore. They don't love their friend anymore. They don't love their new spouse anymore, girlfriend or boyfriend anymore. They don't have the ability to carry love in their hearts. They have the ability to front an image, to fulfill an idealization phase with someone new, because that's what feels good to them. That's all ego based. There's nothing real about that. There's absolutely nothing real about that. So it's kind of like H.G. Tudor puts it. If you eat peppermint ice cream every single day, for a narcissist, they will get bored and they will want to go try vanilla or chocolate or something else. And then for us, that's when you start seeing them with other people so quickly. And this is why they do these things. They cannot stay with one person for a consistent amount of time. Even if they do, it's not going to be a love-based relationship. It will not be a love-based relationship because it's impossible. So I wanted to do a video about that and talk a little bit about that. And it's really hard to accept, especially if you're really new out of the relationship, if you've been discarded, or if you really got to the point where you felt you had to leave and you just can't understand how they can go do that. Well, that's just why, because even as hard as it is to understand, the relationship you had with the narcissist was an illusion-based relationship. It was fake. There was not love coming from the narcissist on their part of the relationship. And so it's very important to understand that, and they're just going to repeat that cycle with every person after you. Now, if you're one of the ones that are just now understanding about narcissism and you're still on the fence on whether or not they're a narcissist, you got a really good shot at being hoovered and them trying to come back. And you have to be aware of these things, because then you're just going to repeat the same cycle with them. You already know what's going to happen. Same thing with their new relationship. You know what's going to happen with that. They're going to treat that person exactly the same way that they treated you. It's just a matter of time. So it's better for us to focus on our happiness, reconnecting with our heart base, and truly working on ourselves to find our way of moving forward in life from a heart-centered space, and actually finding a person that can reciprocate whatever sorry, the same type of love that we're able to create within ourselves. We have to get past this wondering of why are they so happy and it frustrating us. If that frustration is something that you're noticing, bring that to your awareness and start digging deeper in why it's frustrating you, because you know the pain that they've put you through. So to wish that happiness that they appear in the illusion to have with another, you wish that would be back with you. That's not going to happen. So we have to really focus on reconnecting with our own selves, reevaluating what we actually consider happy, reevaluating, does an image really consider happiness? Does playing games, is that happiness? Another technique you can use with a narcissist, and again, if you don't have kids with these people, I don't recommend any contact with them. Almost dropping them as if they didn't exist, which I know is really hard. But learning the art of detachment, living non-attachment when it comes to these people, because it's the clinging to them, it's the clinging to the addiction of the intermittent love, it's the clinging to what that feeling felt like in that idealization phase that creates our suffering. It creates so much more of our pain. And so we have to really work on detaching from that relationship, realizing that it was fake, realizing everything that this person does in their life is not going to be based off of love. And I don't know about you, but for me, I prefer to have reciprocating love back to me that I give to another. And so I hope this is helping with some things. I thought there was something else that I was wanting to cover in this video. I'm sure I'll think about it after I stop it. One of the things you can do, because when it comes to healthy humans, whether they're happy with themselves or not, healthy humans that have empathy, that have compassion, that have the ability to understand another, they wouldn't flaunt their new happiness in front of another person that just to do it. Okay, that's toxic. You don't do that to another person, that especially that if you're in a relationship with another person, you don't flaunt and showboat in front of that person when they're still in the grieving process, when they're still working on processing the healing of getting over the relationship. I mean, you don't do that. People want happiness for other people. Sometimes that involves love. Sometimes the hardest thing about love is letting another person go, because that will be the only way that other person truly finds their inner true happiness. Sometimes we have to do that. We have to love them enough to let them go. And that's kind of what we have to do for the narcissist, even though it was fake and illusional, and it was never based on love, but we're based on love. So sometimes we have to worry about and heal ourselves and love them enough to just let them go, because that's truly not our life path and what we need to focus on. I mean, if you want to focus on that, I guess you could, but in general, people want good things for other people. People want to see another person happy, and you don't, in a negative, envious way, want to flaunt that to someone that you know is possibly still healing. You just don't do it. It's just that's not anything to do with the good feelings and goodness of the heart of a person. So I wanted to do this video, and I hope any of it helps. And again, I want to thank all the new subscribers. I want to thank everyone that comments and likes the videos and subscribes and shares. I try to keep everything as authentic as I can. So it's a very passionate subject. And again, I hope if you have any questions, I usually, a lot of times I'll feed off questions in the group that I have. So I hope some of this helps. And just remember, for whatever reason, I mean, it was an illusion. And it's once that gets accepted, it's going to really help you in that process of what you allow. And again, just remember, no contact is essential to breaking the emotional connection to these people. And when you look at social media, you're really technically breaking no contact. And it really is just hurting ourselves when we do that. So I recommend, really reevaluating, truly deep in your heart, really asking yourself what you're really wanting for yourself out of this situation. And again, for anyone that's in the beginning stages, my heart goes out to you. And I hope this helps. Just stay strong and, move forward. Find that depth and that deep heart center within yourself, so that you can bring that same type of love back to you. And I promise it's a different world, and you deserve it. So with that, I will cut this off, and I hope everyone has a great day. Namaste.